Welcome to Scream Queens Horror Movie Road Trip Podcast. I am your sole survivor, Mr. Josh, and that screaming voice over there is Miss Justine, your final girl.
None other.
None other.
Hi. Happy Christmas. Happy holidays. Merry Twatmas. All that stuff.
I love a good Merry Twatmas. Merry Twatmas. Merry Twatmas.
Merry Twatmas.
And happy
Horror
penis
days.
days. Oh, not penis days.
Penis days?
Twatmas and penis
I
days.
like a penis
I don't
day.
know. It's both are
Namaste.
a stretch, but
Ooh. Well, hey guys.
not that guy's stretch.
Hey guys. Where are we going, Josh?
We are, for episode 59, are covering the 2006 remake of Black Xmas. Alternatively titled Black Xmas.
Because it's got titties in it, guys.
It's extra hardcore than the original. But we are heading to Stillwater, Oklahoma to just cruise around, see some awesome lights.
Look at some still
at Oklahoma
water.
State University. We're going to cruise around there like Frat and Sorority Row.
Just Greek row.
Greek Row. We're going to Greek it up.
You're going to get that Greek.
To be honest, we had different plans. But it's 2020 and COVID's kind of screwed us once again. We kind of foresaw this one coming, but as well, things have gotten really bad all over the United States COVID-wise, so Justine and I are in each other's bubbles. We see each other often. We work together, yada, yada. So we're comfortable being around each other.
He's all up in my bubble, guys.
She needs to get out of my
He's
bubble.
infiltrated my bubble.
She likes it. But,
She likes it.
So we are doing something where we get to have zero contact with people. We're just going to cruise around the campus, see some Christmas lights, and talk to you guys about Black Xmas.
Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to maybe join virtually a sorority while we're there.
We're going to go pledge.
Yes.
She wants to be in a frat, and I want to be in a sorority. We're going to mix things up. We're not into gender roles.
I don't want to be defined by the sorority fraternity
are not
Greek
traditionalists.
life choice that I choose.
Yeah, so we are going to go pledge whatever damn house. Honestly, maybe I'll end up in a frat.
My body,
but we're going to see.
My Greek life.
My body, my Greek life. But yeah.
we crack each other
we
up.
even brought a frisbee to play frisbee in the quad because we're trying to be extra
and all
collegiate.
of them are like gone because they're on like
we're
Christmas
like we
break,
graduated college like 10 15 years ago.
Oh yeah, a long time ago. Yeah,
we old, but old and youthful at heart.
Oh, inside of me is a 21-year-old hot toddy walking
Oh my gosh, are you kidding? We only glow up, Justine.
That's true.
We get hotter every fucking year.
Oh yeah.
2020 didn't slap us too hard.
That's right. I ain't even got a wrinkle. I ain't even. Okay, episode 59, let's start it. So, Black Xmas 2006.
Oh wow.
So, directed by Glenn Morgan. Who's Glenn Morgan?
He's directed some X-Files episode, Justine. He also directed, which I kind of like, the 2004 remake. He likes doing remakes of Willard with Crispin Glover.
Oh, well, I did not even... Yes, I knew because we talked about it before, but whatever. So, yeah, Glenn Morgan. Hey, how are ya?
He's definitely very stylistic. He loves bright colors and contrast and blacks and reds and... he loves the colors of the spectrum, and I don't mean the homosexual spectrum.
Maybe a little bit.
Rainbow. I just mean the color spectrum.
The color spectrum. Yes. And what I love about this 2006 version is all of the, everywhere is just a little, reverence to the... original.
Mm-hmm.
A little homage here. A little, hi, I used to be in another movie named the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, even people in the cast.
It's like the director was like, oh, you like Easter? Well, here's a little Easter egg for you.
Uh-huh.
Oh, here's another. Oh, the Easter bunny is coming for you.
You're going on an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, this movie is full of little throwbacks and nods to the original, which we love.
Mm-hmm.
You can go back.
It makes it fun when you're watching it to see the reference and get it, and then be like, oh,
I think we covered it episode 9, something like that. Honestly, we talk about to this day, our original Black Christmas episode is so short. It's kind of one maybe we'll go back and redo one day.
Yes.
I think it clocks in at not even 40 minutes. So that was in our early days. It might be one that we need to go back and revisit one day and talk about in more thorough detail. We love to examine.
Like a anal examination of the...
Bend over, pull those cheeks apart. We'll take a look.
Also, like, speaking of the fact that one of the cast is from the original, this cast is littered with the aughts babies.
Yeah, aught babies, 90s kids are now, like, you know, older teens or 20-somethings playing 20-somethings.
Yes. Katie Cassidy, she plays our college, like, final girl in this, but 10 years later, she's going to play a high school
like
character.
About 4 years later, 4 or 5 years later.
Or in 2010, she's going to play...
Yeah, that's kind of hilarious that in 2006, she's playing college age, which she probably was at the time. And then 4 or 5 years later, she goes back and plays a high schooler in the terrible Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Yes, the 2010...
She loves to be in...
Nothing remake.
She loves a good horror remake. It suits her, I guess.
She's going to be the queen of remakes?
She's got a pretty face. She's fine.
She's not only a pretty face, Josh, she is brilliant.
At what?
I'm
not sure it's acting, but what is she brilliant at, Justine?
She's a ray of sunshine.
You know what? I bet she's a great friend.
Yes. As we'll see, she supports her sisters all throughout this movie.
She's a great friend and family
She's
member.
not even related to all of them. Katie Cassidy, there you go. Maybe we know how she got her career started. Maybe we don't.
Yeah, guys, there's no such thing as nepotism in Hollywood. Katie Cassidy did not get her job because her dad is Sean Cassidy. Okay? 70s heartthrob. No.
No.
She did it all on her own.
No. That didn't happen. Not at all. And
okay, 100% it happened. But whatever.
Yeah,
okay?
Oliver Hudson.
Yeah, it's
the fact that he's in this movie has nothing to do with his famous appearance. Not at all. Do you hear me? Nothing.
Goldie Hawn did not help him out at all.
I'm not even sure about Mary Elizabeth Winstead, but if I find out you're related to anybody Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I'm not going to have as much fun saying your whole name, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, because I like saying Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
I think Lacey Chabert and Michelle Trachtenberg. It's a lot of, like, names that really fill your mouth.
Yes.
My mouth is full.
Almost like...
I'd rather be full with something else other than big names.
You want to order it on, like, a menu? Hi, can I get the Michelle Trachtenberg?
Yes. How about the Lacey Chabert? How's that cooked tonight?
Yeah, I think I want to sip on some Lacey Chabert.
Can I get a large pour of the Chabert?
Andrea Martin from the original... We love her. We love her.
She's the sorority sister in the original that always has like a shawl.
She does.
She's like the most homely.
Common sense. She's who Michelle Trachtenberg's character is kind of off of.
Michelle Trachtenberg though comes across just so like hilariously bitchy and over the top. Everybody is so angry in this movie.
Every single
Every
person.
line is delivered with like at the end of it.
And then like fuck or like bitch or like ew or like I can't even. I don't want to.
That's it. Everybody in this movie can't even.
They can't even.
They can't even.
But you know what? We're going to talk about how we enjoy it all the same. So, okay, so that's all the list of people. Let's get into a movie.
And I have to say, one thing I really like about this movie is how immediately you're drawn into this Christmas vibe. We see a house, the sorority house, decorated with Christmas lights. It is snowing. You have Christmas music. Right away, I'm like, let's hang a stocking and make some fucking snickerdoodles, okay?
Roar a fire.
Yeah.
Get some cocoa going.
Let's do it.
I want to.
It does get me in the Christmas spirit.
Well, hark how the bells, sweet silver bells.
And the opening is pretty... They do a really nice job of diverting your attention to build up a scare. Because we first see a girl named Claire. She's sitting alone. She's sad about something.
Yeah, it's Christmas night and she's at Alpha Kappa Gamma. Just hanging out in her room, she's becoming a Becky as she's sipping on some wine.
Sipping on some wine by
Forlorn.
herself. And she looks sad, and we never really know why. And she's writing a letter to her sister.
With the best calligraphy handwriting I've ever seen. Also, she has like this inkwell pen that I'm pretty sure nobody else uses.
It's like a $60 pen.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, I guess she's ritzy and, rich at least, because like even her pens for class are.
Yeah. You know what? Damn it. One day I'll be rich enough to have a pen from a jewelry store.
Damn it.
Damn you.
You will, Josh. You dream big.
I will, damn you.
It's going to happen for you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I have faith. So, yeah, she's sitting there, and she hears something in her closet. So she tiptoes over there to
She's
look
worried.
in.
She's really worried it's R. Kelly in the closet. That's
Coming
like
out of that closet.
That's a good decade-old joke.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody's laughing. I laughed.
But this is the part I was talking about where they really divert your attention. You think something's in the closet, and something being in the closet would be an homage to the first kill in the original. And so homegirl goes and checks out the closet, and there's nothing in there. So she's like, I'm going to go back and write my calligraphy note and look sad.
And drink some more vino.
Drink some more of my Chabert. And as she's writing, the camera kind of pans under the bed, and you see someone watching her under the bed. And that's a genuinely creepy moment.
Yes, something that all of us can, there's been a moment where everybody's thought, like, something's under the bed, they're gonna grab me. Well,
something grabs her.
Gets a bag, wraps it around her, takes that pin, stabs her in the eye, which, this is just one of many eyeballs, gouging, stabbing, plucking,
this movie,
sucking, fucking. Sorry.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
I would say there's more
I
would say there's more like bags over the head and eyeballs getting plucked out than there's sucking and fucking in this movie. But you never know. Maybe that's in the Black Xmas.
Yeah, there's a US version and then there's like a UK version. So maybe in the UK, because we watched the US, so perhaps the UK version has more sucky fucky. I don't know.
But who knows?
Okay, so
no one will ever know.
Murder at Alpha Kappa Gamma has occurred.
Yeah, and we get that strong title that says Black Xmas, which is funny because it says Christmas.
Yes.
But the poster is Xmas.
Yes.
IMDb has it under Christmas because I tried typing in Black Xmas and nothing came up.
But Xmas makes me think I'm about to see tons of titty.
And something naughty.
Yeah, I'm about to see all kinds of bouncing butts and bouncing titties.
We love bouncing butts and bouncing titties. If it bounces, we enjoy it.
You know, a lot of like hip hugger pants and bellies exposed. It's 2006, guys.
Yeah, so a lot of low-rise jeans.
Low-rise jeans for sure.
With like the long t-shirt that goes over your butt. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, both of those looks are accomplished. We have that scene with the Abercrombie like pajamas I'll bring up later. It's just like fashions of the early aughts right here. Yeah, like it's there. Like they said, hey, guess what? We want to encapsulate this amazing fashion moment.
They're like, maybe we should throw in some UGG boots and trucker hats to finish off the 2000s vibe.
God, that would have just done it. Okay,
all right, so now we go to
Clark's Sanitarium.
Clark's Sanitarium, which is a nod to Bob Clark.
Yeah, like keep
director
nodding,
of the original. We'll point them out. We'll point out those nods.
We have like this meal delivery going through the mental ward, and a Santa gets lost, and he kind of like finds himself in the mental ward, and there's like this orderly who's handing out meals, and
it's the most depressing, institutionalized, like, looks like a prison for like a mental institution. I get it, a lot of them are prisoners, but there's even a guy in there that's thinks he's Jesus, and I'm like, well, I doubt this guy was a violent criminal.
Yeah.
But maybe that was his thing. He's like the Jesus killer. I don't know.
We don't even have his story. Yeah.
It's a really funny gag because an orderly's going by giving everyone cookies, saying Merry Christmas, and then he gets to the guy that thinks is Jesus, and he goes, Happy birthday. And that's like, oh my God, no you didn't.
He's like starting to tell the story of like, in the wise men. It's funny.
And he said, in the wise men.
So that's like a little funny, little gag, a little fun.
Yeah. So the Santa gets killed.
Well, hold on. No,
are we gonna flash back to the?
not there yet at all about the Santa getting killed. So, but we get Billy rocking in his chair, and the orderly and the security guard tell the Santa about Billy Lentz, who's there, and they're like, yeah, remember he every year tries to escape out of here to get home for Christmas. And the Santa's like, yeah, I remember hearing that story growing up. He's the guy that killed his family. And there's just nuggets that get dropped.
There's a lot of exposition in this movie.
Yes.
A lot of people telling this backstory.
We get, in a lot of scenes throughout it, it's like the middle of the movie, we're still getting backstory about Billy Lentz.
And Justine pointed out something when we had rewatched it together recently, is every time we get the backstory, there's someone telling it, except from this one weird random time. It just goes into a flashback, and there's not someone really like either narrating it or bookending it with like, well, 15 years ago, type situation where then it goes into a flashback.
And I just
which is kind of weird. It's like, well, was something cut? Why are all the other flashbacks told like in a narrative
where everybody's like standing there being told?
Yeah. And it happens by different characters, but there's one moment where it's just no characters.
Just cuts to, we have like an awkward moment with one character, cuts to more story of Billy. We'll get there. Okay. So, so we get just a little nugget of what Billy Lentz is all about, and Santa and the orderly leave, and the security guard, who's just told us every year he tries to escape, we get. And I also don't know how Billy Lentz gets gift wrap and like a bow and everything, but where the orderly puts meals, there's this little window, and he puts out a little gift.
Yeah.
For the security guard, he grabs it, and the gift is just a note that says that song, "I'll Be Home for Christmas."
Right. And the weird thing, too, the orderly comes in and just leaves the door open and is searching around for it. And Billy could have just ran out behind him, and the orderly would have never seen him.
The security guard.
The security guard, yeah. But instead, he comes up behind him and, like, stabs him with this whittled down or sucked down candy cane. That would have honestly just, like, broken off.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have gone through the guy's skin.
Punctured the guy's skin. It's like, our skin's actually pretty durable and tough. Would have taken a little bit of... But... Billy Lentz says we'll come to find out he is superhuman.
And yellow.
He was
born with, like, jaundice that lasted forever.
Okay, so the guard, he's dead, and then we get sexual harassment Santa in the hallway, who sees, like, a nurse, and they're having, like, a weird moment where they're like, yeah, you want to meet in the room, and we'll, like, do, like, Christmas boom boom.
And honestly, like, she... initiates all of it. It's so random. She's just walking by and she's like, hey Santa, you want to fuck me? I mean, that's not what she says, but that's what she says.
Well, the insinuation, she's being like sexually playful.
And hands him a candy cane she's sucking on.
Yes, and he sucks on it. But sexual harassment Santa just sounds funner.
That is more fun.
Yeah, thanks.
Sexual harassment Santa.
So sexual harassment Santa keeps walking after he gets this invitation from a candy striper to meet him in a room in a little bit, and then he gets beckoned. She's like, I'm ready, but it's not her. It's Billy, and he needs that Santa suit, and so he beats he kills him and then takes the suit. And
that's one thing we learned about Billy. He can throw his voice and impersonate anyone.
Anybody?
Just kidding. But it's...
no, anyone at all. Yeah. He's going to be my are you Billy Lentz?
Yes. I'm also in yellow.
What I like about this scene, he kills the Santa, and then he puts the Santa in the present bag that Santa uses. But, like, this Santa was at least, like, 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
Somehow fits in, and then the bag holds him.
They're not the same size at all.
No. And then he's, like, holding him by the arm as, like, it's... This Billy guy also really strong.
He's very strong.
He's very strong. Okay, now we're outside AKG, Alpha Kappa Gamma, and we meet Kelly and her super jerky boyfriend, Kyle.
He is aggressively douchebaggy.
Yes. He's
obvious
terrible. That they're in the throes of, like, their first months of courtship.
And she's already putting up with some bullshit.
He's already coming on strong. He's guilting her because, like, she wants to spend, like, a traditional Christmas with the college girls before everybody leaves to go on break, but he's like having none of it.
And it's not even Christmas Eve or Christmas yet. He's like, I just wanted us to spend our first Christmas together. She's like, well, we will. I'll see you Christmas Day.
Like, it's
I'm
not
like,
it yet.
You guys
Kyle,
are married.
Calm down.
Kyle, who looks like he's in his mid-30s.
Yes. It's Oliver Hudson who's
Oliver
playing
Hudson.
his character, and he's handsome. Hi,
it's like,
Daddy
hi,
Oliver.
Daddy Hudson.
Hi, your character in this, like, I don't know what you're
an
going
asshole,
for, but
you
got it, you achieved it, then there you go.
If you need an anger pound, just call me.
So she's like, anger pound? I almost bypassed. Whoa, anger pound. I'm going to hold on to that one. Okay, so she's like, all right, I got to go. Sorry for your, like, hurt feelings of I was booked today. Like, so
she's all like, baby, I'll see you, baby.
Baby.
Hey, baby. Babe.
Annoying. Okay, so she gets out of the car, and he immediately gets a phone call on his cell phone, and the phone says Megan. And then it cuts to, we get this, like, look of the house, and it,
from the outside exterior view,
kind of
looking in the window.
Zooms into one window, and it's that Megan, what we'll come to find is this Megan character, and she's, like, screaming a real ranty, like, in the phone, and then hangs up and throws her cell phone, so maybe something's got to do with something.
Something's always got to do with something.
We'll find out.
We will.
Kelly goes inside, meets all of her sorority sisters. They're so happy to see her. Like, hey, girl, Rita.
Girl, Kelly, let's open some presents.
Girl.
Some
Oh, girl. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl,
What's up? Girl. Hey, you're a girl.
Girl. Yay, girl, Christmas.
Presents. And then we have Heather. Okay, so Mary Elizabeth Winstead plays this Heather character.
She's terrible.
I can't stand it. One, the southern accent is just...
It comes and goes.
Ebbs and flows. Yeah, it gets...
Sometimes super thick and rich.
And then other times I'm like, did she forget
Southern?
where she came from all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Like, we're talking like where she'll act like she's from the bayous at
And she's been a fine actress and things since this movie.
Oh, yeah, and she's like horror love. Like, she's been in like Final Destination.
Right,
3, 10 Cloverfield Lane now, but...
she's great in that.
Yeah.
But this one, not so much.
This one just was like a moment in time where she wasn't the best.
Or maybe it's not her fault. Maybe the director wasn't really working with her. Like, who knows what happened there.
Yeah. So we meet everybody. Her friends, Melissa, that's kind of like her best friend, the Michelle Trachtenberg character. Lauren is the Margot Kidder kind of character from the original, so she's the lush. She's the one that like wants to drink. Wants to drink her way through the evening because they're about to do Secret Santa, and everyone's kind of like not looking forward to it. Like it's a tradition, but nobody really cares that much. And also,
Andrea Martin's really excited about it. She's the den mother, the house mother,
Miss Mac. And that's the same name as before, so they brought that back. Dana is Lacey Chabert's character. Sadly, they're kind of, all these characters are...
They seem kind of the same.
Yeah.
It's a lot of brunette
inconsequential
women, except from the final girl.
Yes.
And none of them have... They're all just... Again, everyone's aggressive and bitchy.
Yeah.
So they're all aggressive and bitchy, and they're kind of the same character.
Nobody
it's
really
fun
has...
to watch everyone being like, me. You know, to back and forth to like kind of sound like a Muppet, but
but yeah, I would agree. Like everybody's just kind of
the same
feeling the
character.
same. Yeah, sad. That's just a sad part of what. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. Sorry, I lost my place.
So
too.
now, though, while they're hunkered around together, being bitchy, they give
Miss
us
Mac,
Miss Mac gives us the first kind of flashback about Billy. Take it away, Justine. Tell us about Billy.
Should I try to do my Andrea Martin voice? No. Billy lived in Alpha Kappa Gamma with, because one of the characters
Maybe you could do it as Tangina. I'm just kidding.
What?
Or maybe
No.
Tangina needs, no. We'll see Tangina.
Don't try to invoke Tangina when she's not here, when she hasn't been prepped. So she explains to them that this was Billy's family home before it was a sorority house, and that Billy didn't really have the best upbringing. His mother was also a drunk and hated him because he was a kid with a disorder. He had like a liver condition.
She's like, I hate my yellow kid.
So yeah, he was yellow, I guess jaundiced, and she did not appreciate it. She did not appreciate her husband, and
And he's like bright yellow. He's like Elijah Wood's Sin City yellow.
Yes. He is not, it's not subtle. It's not like you get like, oh, hey, in the right light, you look a little off.
Yeah.
He's bright yellow, like the sun. And that's just the start of the Billy Lynn's Lifetime movie. It's kind of this weird Lifetime movie that's thrown in. You do not like Billy's mom at all. Like
she's a hag.
Gives up on her infant and is always mean to him. There's a scene where he's trying to celebrate a little bit of Christmas with Dad, and she's like, "What do you even care? Santa's not coming here." She's like got her cigarette.
Yeah, and Dad's like, "Santa did come. Go check in the hole in your closet." Like
he
had to hide a present for him in there.
Holes.
And while he's up at the hidey hole, Dad gets murdered by Mother's boyfriend that shows up, and you just hear the dialogue, "What are you doing? I was in Vietnam. You can't come into," which is a random thing. "I was in Vietnam. You can't come to my house."
I guess he's a strong warrior.
Yeah. And then he gets like a hammer to the head. Poor Dad. And Billy sees poor Dad getting the hammer to the head.
And he's like looking under the door, sees it. He's covered with a bag, and that becomes a thing in the movie, is to be impaled and have a bag covering you.
Almost every murder is first bag overhead, plastic bag, pulled tight, and then like a sharp object, typically
something to pierce
an
through.
ornament.
It's always kind of like Christmas oriented.
It's like one of those weird Christmas toppers that's not a star, not a Santa Claus or an angel. It's just like
a big ball,
elegant point. Yeah, almost like a top of a fleur-de-lis or something.
And also what I love about our little flashbacks that we get our little Lifetime movie is there's these little year stamps, which I don't think are necessary, and I think just date the movie.
Yeah.
I don't like them, and they kind of box in a lot too, because there's
so
times
1971.
Yeah, and there are times where I'm like, that kid is not 5. That kid is at least 10 years old. Climbing the poorly insulated parts of the house is not a 5-year-old.
Yeah, you're like, he's at least 11.
Yeah. So, and it goes in this it veers in the direction of People Under the Stairs, where like Billy starts to, because he sees the murder of his father, he's got to hide away. He sees them bury his father underneath the porch. There's a lot of hidey holes, a lot of crawl spaces, and a lot of room in between walls in this house, which I'm like, wow, they were not very well off people to afford such a home, unless it was just run down.
You're like, and that's how they insulated things back then.
Yeah,
they
just doubled it up.
Huge crawl spaces in between. That seems really inefficient.
And that's how someone gets stuck.
That's how someone gets stuck, y'all.
It's just weird. Like, okay, I'm glad homes are not made like that anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So we get just that little nugget of the lover and mother killed Dad, and that's why Billy is how he is, and he has to live in the attic, and
he's the person in the walls.
Yes.
In the attic.
So now we have, the girls are horrified to hear this. To hear Billy's story, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character Heather is like, okay, I'm the one that drew Billy's name, and I don't like this because I believe in Jesus.
And she's like, I'm leaving. I'm going home. She's talking like Scarlett O'Hara all of a sudden. I'm going home.
I'm going where my daddy loves me.
Tara.
So she's wanting to leave, but we get a red herring character pop up named Eve. And
she's
Eve
like, hi.
Is the weirdo, black sheep of the sorority group.
She's like, I brought you a present because I know you like the Bible and stuff. And she's like, well, thank you. And then that girl disappears.
Well, she opens it, and it's the unicorn that it's not.
And then we get another flashback. This is one of those weird flashbacks
where this is the non-narrated one.
And did we already cover?
No.
Okay.
So this is the non-narrated one, and it's where like the juicy, really crazy Lifetime shit happens.
Like the flowers in the attic.
Yes.
Shit. So it starts with like mom fucking dad on the stairs.
Stepdad.
And stepdad falls asleep, and she's like, "God damn it, not again!" And then she hears creaking of that, and she's like, "Oh, I got an idea." And she goes and like sits on her son's lap.
She rapes her son.
Yeah, she rapes her son.
And that's just all that is. Like,
and then it cuts to like 9 months later, and she's giving birth.
Yes.
To Billy's daughter sister.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. So
And-
she gave birth to her own granddaughter.
Yeah, granddaughter, yeah.
Ugh.
And she looks up at the attic where we can only imagine Billy is just listening in as this baby's cooing and the parents are so happy. And she says, she's my family now.
She's my family now.
And that just, Billy can't even.
And let me say, incest had a way with little Agnes. Agnes is like the ugliest little girl you've ever seen. I really hope that little girl actress had prosthetics on her face.
Yeah, it did look
because she's not like grotesque or deformed by any stretch. She's just ugly.
Yeah, she just is what we think incest would do
Yeah,
to
she's
somebody.
ugly.
And okay, so in the attic, so upstairs we have some characters that we're kind of ignoring. It's the Megan character who doesn't want to come downstairs and participate in Secret Santa because she has been sent an email.
And she's checking her emails, and then she's like, oh, here's an email. Oh, it's a video. Oh, it's a video of me getting banged by my friend's creepy Oliver Hudson boyfriend.
Yeah. So we have this girl.
So that's obviously what they were fighting about. And on the phone earlier.
Yeah, the Megan character.
Because we don't see her actually get the email. It's already up, and she just keeps watching it for some reason.
Yeah, it is strange that she just keeps watching. And like guys, she's pushing the play button. Like she's watching, like she's enraging herself
and she's
at
so
this
upset about it,
home
too.
video.
But she's not even like cry masturbating or doing anything fun about it.
She just doesn't want to go downstairs and face Kelly because...
Yeah.
And we don't also know if based on the phone conversations, if Billy's trying to like... What if he's trying to blackmail her? Make her do something or get something for him?
Red herring.
Yeah, but whatever. So Megan is up there, not wanting to come down, and she hears stuff up in the attic.
And she's like, well, I gotta go check it out because it wouldn't be a horror movie if I don't go check out the weird noise in the attic.
Nobody knows what I'm gonna do because I haven't talked to anybody, but here I go all by myself.
Can you guys guess what happens? Yes, you are right. Bag over the head, sharp object to the eye. But I will say this movie is full of so much fun, like eyeball gore. Lots of eyeballs getting ripped out, eyeballs getting stabbed.
Whoop.
Some getting stabbed, but then like going through the back of the head, and like the eyeballs sticking out of the back of the head. There's a lot of good, like,
there's a lot of
eyeball.
cannibalism, eating
And
the
think
eyeballs.
about it, like, there's nothing more cringy than seeing someone's eyeball get fucked up.
Yes.
It's like eyeballs and like toenails and fingernails. You don't want to see those things fucked with.
Because those are like the little things that just like
Hurt
so bad.
And they're like soft.
You
and,
get an
not your
eyelash in your
nails, but-
eye, and it's the end of the world. You get a little finger, yeah, a little hangnail. You get a little paper cut. No way, can't have it. Fuck that.
No.
Okay, downstairs we get an obscene phone call that comes through, and all the girls are like, "What?
Who is that? That is not Megan, because it says it's from Megan's phone. And
Who
like,
is it?"
They're like, that is not Megan.
We get that drunk Lauren character, give him
Yeah.
a little like what for razzing him.
And then Michelle Trachtenberg's like, that was the voice of the devil. That wasn't Megan.
Who the hell was that? And they hang up, but they think like, oh, you know what? That's probably just a joke. They haven't seen her. That nobody. It's weird how like people won't go into rooms. They just like knock on the door and
They're like, hey,
that's
are you
it.
in there? You just need your alone time being quiet and ignoring everybody for hours.
Oh,
Okay.
let's get back to Secret Santa. Miss Max got some lingerie to open.
Oh, she wants
and
to
she's-
wear it.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Do
like-
y'all have a man for me to wear this for?
She's like, shake my titties in it later.
And Lauren is getting like so drunk to the point where she's gonna barf. So we meet, there's an arrival of a new character.
Oh yeah, another red herring.
Shows up.
She's like, where's my sister Claire?
Gosh darn it! I want to see her now!
Where's Claire?
Where the fuck is Claire?
And they're all like, who are you? Andrea's is like, show me some ID, and then she shows her some ID. She's like, our last names aren't the same. I'm getting the divorce is almost final.
I also don't know anything about her because we're 12 years apart. So I know her favorite color, and I used to be a legacy here. I don't even remember when I went to college.
Yeah, she's like, I don't even remember when I was here. I just remember I fucking hated it.
Also, I gave up a weekend in Colorado with a cardiologist for this bitch. Where's Claire?
And then she hulks out, and she starts throwing furniture around the room.
And then she pisses all over the place.
She's like, you don't want to see me angry. It's fucking crazy, guys.
It's weird. Okay, so the only reason I think why she gets to hang around after she shows up is because she notices a gift under the tree. And she's like, oh, you guys are still giving a gift to Billy. So that's kind of like you guys know I used to be in the sorority because I know about the Billy gift.
She's like, but this is weird. Usually you give a gift to Billy. Not Billy gives a gift to you. And then they're all like, what? She's like, let's open it. See what's inside.
But what she meant was she opened her asshole. She started crapping everywhere.
She's like, I'm alpha. I'm alpha of this house. I shit where I want.
That's insane. And that's what literally happened in this movie.
I'm the alpha.
Okay, so she alpha out really quick, and then the power goes out.
And what's her name? Like Leslie or something? I forget.
Lee.
Lee.
Lee's her name, yeah.
Lee.
So Lee's like, oh no, the power's out. And Lacey Chabert's character finally becomes relevant again.
Yeah.
So Dana's like, oh, I'll go out there. I need to smoke a cigarette.
She's like, I got my flared jeans and my pea coat and my perfectly coiffed hair. I look very 2006, okay?
And my
I'll go check outside.
buttery lipstick that I got while I'm trying to not actually smoke this cigarette. Because she doesn't. And it shows that, like, good on you, Lacey Chabert. You didn't smoke cigarettes in real life.
It's like one of those, like, just holds the smoke in your mouth.
It just pulls it in and then lets it just kind of, like, waft out of the mouth. Which, good.
Good on you, girl.
I know. I'm proud of you, Lacey. Okay. So she's smoking a cigarette. But she hears, we hear something. Something got to do with something.
Something's always got to do with something, you know, our saying.
She puts her little cigarette out through a weird hole that's just in the middle of the porch.
I hate when I get a cigarette put out in one of my weird holes.
And that was just earlier today. And you were doing that to yourself.
Yeah.
You were putting cigarettes out in your own hole.
My weird hole.
That weird hole of yours. And so what does she do? Not try to, turn the power breaker on, which is the whole point of her going out. Like,
and why is the power breaker, like, underneath the porch?
Well, she doesn't even go under the porch.
Under a crawl space.
She's not going there for that. She hears something.
Oh, that's right.
And so she doesn't even make it to the breaker because she hears something. She got to go under that porch. And then she thinks, okay, also, Dana obviously didn't like Eve very much because Eve was like the weirdo of the sorority group, but also she blames Eve. She's like, I can see you underneath there, bitch.
Eve,
you
fucking cunt.
Breathing air, bitch. And so she gets pulled in under that patio and porch area.
And she gets it. She gets like, what do you even call that? It's like a little claw,
it's
gardening
like a garden
claw.
tool. Like three.
She gets garden clawed.
Yeah, she clawed.
She gets clawed.
She got clawed.
She's dead. I will say Lacey's like little death is a little sad because she's just like grunting like. In
a way, it's kind of what you think maybe
you might not be really just screaming. You might just be like, ah!
And she's a really good actress, Lacey Chabert.
I love a
her.
good glass of Chabert.
I love that glass of Chabert that we had last night. It was so yummy, tasty.
I love the 2006 Black Christmas vintage of the Chabert.
The Chabert tannins in the... Okay,
it's very earthy. I get citrus notes. And
while the death of our sweet Chabert's happening, Kelly goes upstairs to check on Megan, the girl that died up in the attic, but nobody's bothering, that's...
No one cares.
Yeah, nobody cares about that. So she goes up there to check on her. When she opens up the door, guess who walks out, everyone? Jerky-ass boyfriend
Billy,
Kyle. Like, why in the world is Kyle in Megan's room?
She screams, and everyone comes running, and they're like, what are you doing here? He's
what
like,
the hell?
Well, babe, I wanted to, spend the night with you, but I knew they wouldn't let me in, so I crawled up, and your window was locked, so I came in through Megan's window. Was Megan in there? I don't know. And they're like, dude, you just crawled in through her window, you don't know if she's in there? It was
I don't know.
God.
I don't know.
You bitches. Maybe. And then he just starts calling them bitches for no reason. It's really awkward.
Yeah, like spoiled bitches.
Spoiled bitches. I've lived here. You guys, spoiled bitches show up and come for a few years. I live here.
I live here.
You're like, what's that have to do with where Megan is?
Yeah. We just asked you if Megan was in the room. We didn't ask you to chastise us about
not being townies, okay?
Thanks, Kyle. You guys want to know the real reason why Kyle doesn't want anybody to go in the room to look for Megan? Because
his porn.
His porn is up on the laptop.
And apparently he doesn't know how to click the X
I don't
button.
get it.
Apparently Megan didn't know how to do that either. So what do we think is going to happen? Of course, who's her butt is going to go in there?
Kelly.
She's
gonna bust some ass too.
And she's like, we're going to go in here and look for Megan. He's like, well, what are we looking for in here? She's not in here. I don't know, a sign. Hello? Give me a sign, Megan.
Did she write it in blood?
And then she gets her palm read. Tangina shows up. I'm trying to make Tangina happen.
You better
guys.
Quit making Tangina happen. It's maybe not gonna happen.
Well, so she sees the porno and she's like, you bastard. He's like, well, I fucked her before I even met you. And she's like, you guys are all the same.
Hold on. Before they go in that room, though, and have that porno conversation, he tells the last bit of story about Billy Lynch. It's before he calls them all spoiled bitches.
It's where Billy tried to kill Agnes on Christmas one day.
And
because
kills
Agnes
mom
got a Christmas present. Yeah, he kills the mom and the stepdad brutally. Of course, one of them gets a bag over the head, and then he's like hammering, or like, no, he has the rolling pin.
Goes to the kitchen and makes cookie cutter flesh angels, and then
he's frying them
bakes
up.
them. So Kyle fills us in on that last little bit of why Billy is why he's terrible, because he's psychologically fucked up, been up in an attic, killed his family, has a sister who's also his daughter.
He's a moiterer.
Oh, and Agnes went away to an asylum and then tried to go into foster care, but who would want to adopt her?
Is she ugly?
And then he called them all
bitches.
Spoiled bitches.
Yep. And then she's mad at him because he
Found
had sex with her roommate before
found tapes.
Yeah. Yeah, he says something about having lots of tapes. He's like, one of my frat brothers, someone's mad at me and found my tapes. And she's like, your tapes? You mean there's more than one?
What? You fucked a lot of people on tape?
I can't believe you have tapes.
Tapes? I think she's more upset that there's tapes.
Yeah.
Not as upset that potentially he's cheating on her with the Megan character, and that, see, what I think is that he was going up to see Megan and he didn't want to go through the house because then Kelly would be like, whoa, what the fuck are you doing here? He wanted to go see Megan, but Megan wasn't in her room. He went to go look around on the second floor for Megan and ran into Kelly, and
that's correct. Yep.
That's how things happen. Cheater, cheater, pumpkin eater.
So we get the last bit of that, and then what happens, Justine?
Well, then everybody decides a growing concern over all these missing sisters.
Like,
so
I have a concern that's growing.
They head outside and they find that like Eve's car's still there.
They're like, let's go look at Eve's car. You guys get another car started.
And they all find that Eve's been decapitated, and so Kelly calls 911, but they're not really that helpful.
I mean, her head just rolls out of that car. It was like ready. It had already it was prepared for that door to open.
It was just sitting there like, bloop, bloop, bloop.
Be prepared.
And so Kelly calls the cops, but they're like, hey, guess what? It's a busy night. We're not going to be there for at least 2 hours. So then they decide, like any good gang, to split up. And so we've got Lee, who hangs out with Kelly, and then we've got
Andrea Martin, Miss Mac.
Yeah, Miss Mac, who takes Mary Elizabeth Winstead in the station wagon, and then we have Michelle Trachtenberg and Drunk Girl.
Yes.
Upstairs.
And they don't even know what the fuck is going on.
No, because Drunk Girl is getting bathed and like she's being taken care of.
Someone's watching her because she's like throwing up. She gets in the bathtub and you see this little tile poke out of the floor, and you see Billy watching her. He's like, I need some TNA tonight before I go on a killing spree.
Right. I gotta do a little rub and tug.
Yeah, a little rub and tug to re-energize me for the rest of these moitas.
And that's exactly what's going to happen from this point on.
Yep.
We're going to start knocking everybody off. So it's first we get Miss Mac and Heather in the car.
And Heather's like, for tomorrow is another day.
Tara!
We're going to Tara.
But I do like how
but
it's
Billy
that
was like,
blood splatter.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. I'm going to fucking kill you.
I'm going to slit your throat.
Yes.
And blood splatter all over the windshield, and Miss Mac gets terrified by that, and she
as you would.
She falls back and actually gets just an icicle.
But you know what?
Impaled on her.
I would say Miss Mac deserved it. homegirl is getting out of the car trying to scrape the windshield with a brush. These people are supposed to be like living in the north, and we know that because they say something about somebody coming up from Boston.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, so you guys are at least more north of Boston if they're coming up from Boston. It's cold there.
Yeah,
okay?
so shame on you. You deserve death.
We're in Oklahoma, and we know how to use an ice
have
scraper.
a scraper,
Okay?
yes.
We get frosty mornings here.
So
I know how to use
honestly,
it.
I'm not sorry about it.
I'm like, you were dumb. You were trying to brush ice off your window.
I am not sorry, Miss
Off
Mac.
with your head, Miss Mac.
Paint the roses red. That's how I feel about that.
Me too.
Okay, so we get, those two dead. Bye-bye, dead. See you later.
Bye.
See ya. Bye, dead. And then we go upstairs to the second floor so we can have our moida scenes with Lauren and Melissa, which I like the Melissa that's Trachtenberg, because she gets the ice skate.
Yeah, she's fighting with Billy upstairs.
We don't
we
know
don't know who she's fighting. I keep saying Billy,
with.
but
Yeah.
there's a revelation later.
Yeah. So she's fighting with a long-haired somebody, and she almost gets away, almost gets out a window, but the killer finds some ice skates and kind of slices off the top of her head. We get some brain matter.
We get a good scalping.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a good little scene. Like, something that just bothers me throughout this movie is there's never like a real chase scene, and so when I get a little bit built up, when my heart rate starts to go, it kind of deflates pretty quickly.
It's definitely like a gore movie. Like, you watch it for the Christmas and the splatter.
Yes. Then we get Lauren, who's passed out in her bedroom, and that character who just killed Michelle Trachtenberg goes and finds the unicorn in Heather's room and goes to kill Lauren. I think maybe Heather and Lauren share a bed or something. Yeah, like...
She's like, oh, you sleepy girl? I'm going to fill you up. And you know what's funny? I probably would have been like the Lauren. Not the drunk, passed out part, but the passed out part. Not the drunk and passed out, just passed out. I would have been the one sleeping through it all, not even knowing what's going on, waking up because someone's feeling me up, like, oh, hey. And then be like, oh, what's going on? Oh, I'm about to die.
Trying to put myself together, what's going on? And then... Yeah, and she gets her wits about her, but it's not in time, and so then there's this wrestling match that happens on her bed. Her eyes get gouged out.
She gets the bag over her head, gouged
all
out.
that.
She tries to defend herself with the unicorn.
Yes, but sorry.
Bye.
Gotta
Bye, girl.
go. Now we're just left to Lee and Kelly, and they don't know also that everybody's dead. They're getting impatient, and so they see that the car is still running outside, so that Miss Mac and them haven't left. They try to go out there, but the gate is
the gate. They
gate's
can't
locked.
See her though on the other side.
They just know something is blocking it, but it's a
damn
body.
it.
And so they run upstairs to maybe see if they can get the other girls, and they go in that bedroom, and then Oliver Hudson's character shows up. There's the reveal that Lauren's dead, and then they all, the three of them have to decide, like, oh, the phone call happens, and we find out that the killer's up in the attic because she can hear the jingle bell ringtone.
Yeah, and Oliver Hudson comes back. He had gone for a little bit because Miss Mac never
out,
got mad because he was calling them bitches, and they're like, get the fuck out of here!
But he sees the dead bodies out there. He's like, no, I saw it. Like, there's 2 dead bodies out there, and Miss Mac is who it was, but that's sad. Sorry, Miss Mac.
Like, they're dead. She was in her nightie. Her titties looking good.
That's not true.
No.
So Oliver Hudson, Kyle guy, Daddy Oliver Hudson, he's
Daddy
like,
Hudson.
okay, I'm going to try to do something redeeming here. I'll go up to the attic and I'll see who the killer is.
But guess what, guys?
That doesn't bode well
He
for
gets
him.
a bag over his head and his eyes pulled out.
And then that character, because we get this reveal that it's like this long blonde-haired character, and
who's really ugly.
Really ugly, and Kelly calls the character Agnes, and she
Agnes.
pays attention to her. She's like, yep, that's me.
You know who Agnes looks like now as an adult? Like the Wayans brothers from
White Chicks. Yes, I thought so too. Hilarious that you thought that. Okay, and she's like eating Kyle's eyeballs while she's like, yeah, hi, Agnes. And Kelly's like, girl, this isn't gonna work. your brother isn't even here. And she's like, nah, but my daddy is. But
And
she
here
actually
comes
met her
Billy.
daddy. Like, she didn't mean it,
Yeah.
like, sexually, where I was like, okay, yo,
She's like, that's
daddy.
my brother, daddy. So
No.
my brother's not here, but that's my daddy.
That's
too.
my daddy. And Lee falls through the attic and falls.
It's hilarious. It's like she's sinking.
It's like quicksand.
It's like, why can't you just pull yourself up? She's like, help me! I'm falling!
I somehow stuck around till this part of the movie.
Help! And Kelly's like, oh my god! And like is trying to help her, and she's like, I'm sinking!
Help!
They get her up, but then there's a lot of struggle, a lot of like falling through the walls, a lot of them breaking the walls, helping them get each other out.
Billy shows up and he's all
there's
like
a fight.
parkouring through the walls.
Yeah, there's like fights in the walls between Agnes, Billy, and Kelly and Lee, and they're all fighting. And then
fire starting as well.
fire starting, and then it just gets chaotic for a minute.
Luckily, Lee saves Kelly, who's trapped in the wall, pulls her through.
She
and
hulks out and tears the wall open.
Finally,
For real.
For real, she
For
hulks
real.
out like she
Lee's
busts
like, I'm gonna
the
get
wall.
you, Kelly. Get out of here.
And so they wait outside because 2 hours, I guess, has gone by. So the cops finally showed up, and this is where the movie should have ended.
Yeah. And then they're like, no, you know what? Let's do a four-act structure.
So this last part, like, is pulling teeth.
It really is. I'm
So
over
unnecessary.
I'm kind of over the movie at this point. This is
It's
where
dragging on.
the movie loses like a knife rating for me. Is right here.
And so now we're at the local hospital, and we get this weird. I guess Lee grabbed the present that Claire had under the tree or in the room or
and
something.
It was a watch. Oh, she doesn't
And
know
so
what it
she
yet,
doesn't know what it is, but she's like, here, I got this present from her.
I can't open it with my sister.
So I want
I'll open it with you, my sorority sister.
my sister forever. Wait, no, that's not what the watch says. It says family forever.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get this little
She
sentimental
gets a little
moment.
watch.
And this nurse comes in. She's like, Kelly, for some reason, you're needing to stay overnight. We need to do additional x-rays.
You have just like a slight bruise and a scratch, but you got to stay overnight, and we got to do x-rays with a specialist that's about to leave.
This is an excuse for us to get this Lee character alone in this room.
And Lee's like, we'll see you, Kelly.
Downstairs in the morgue, we get like the medical examiner's assistant, because he's bitching about the fact that the medical examiner isn't down there. So the assistant is like, I gotta check all these bodies. You know, all these dead people came in from that sorority house, so it's on me. Sorry, fuck you, bitch. Won't be there for the kids for Christmas. Hangs up. And then, oh, I guess Agnes and Billy didn't die in that
Here
house
they come
fire.
unzipping themselves out of their bags, and they're like, oh, we're gonna kill this guy first.
It's like, no, you are not Michael Myers. You
And-
don't get to unzip yourself from...
And when we're not getting eyeballs pulled out, you're getting that blood splatter. So we get another shot of like just blood splatter. The guy's dead.
Yes, he gets moitered by
He's
Agnes
moited.
and Billy. And what do Agnes and Billy do? They do what they do best. They start climbing through the ventilation
And
system
then
of
they
the
find
hospital.
Lee somehow.
Because they have, in their pockets, they have this outline of the entire hospital grid.
That or the hospital is like a one-story, like rural hospital.
No
that-
way it can be, because we get the
Yeah.
fire escape scene at the end
Yeah,
and he
that's
falls.
true,
So
yeah.
we're talking multi-level.
Like, how the fuck do they finally? So they come in, they kill Lee.
Yes.
Lee's like, no! And they get her.
And they get her, and then, so they're waiting in the room for Kelly.
Yeah.
And Kelly gets in there, she gets all situated. She's like, I guess Lee went to go take a dump, whatever.
And there's one of those convoluted, like, oh! The nurse can't get out the door. She's like, I thought they fixed this earlier.
Oops.
And then shuts it behind her, so you're like, oh, so she's going to be locked in now. So she's locked in now. And she's got to fight Agnes and Billy.
Yeah, Lee's little watch piece is sitting there, so she puts together like, oh great, my friend's dead. And then we have one more additional fight with Agnes.
Yeah.
Okay, so then
Kills Agnes.
with the defibrillator paddles, she
Yeah.
like gets her, and not done yet, guys, because now Billy's got to have a reprise. So this is actually where the two differences in versions come up. Like the U.S. version continues, and we get this whole Billy scene, whereas the U.K. version stops at Agnes, and we just get to think that maybe Billy
died.
or is in the, never goes, or is waiting for her, like we're gonna go later, but it ends. The movie ends at this point. So, but in the U.S. we're like gore, gore, gore. So we got to have 10 more minutes more of a struggle.
Yeah. They struggle. She
Yeah.
pushes him over a ledge, and he gets impaled by a Christmas tree.
And he stabs her with a scalpel before that.
He's like slicing her back, or
fucked up. Like, I did not like that part.
So now she has a reason to stay in the hospital.
Yes, like, okay, now I get to stay overnight. All these muscles have been sliced up in my shoulder blades.
And then
Thanks.
it's like, then we get the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies to end it, which is starting to become really overused in Christmas horror. It's like, okay, you can...
It's child play.
It's kind of like, it's instrumental. There is something kind of like mischievous and ominous about it, you know.
Yes.
So I get it, but it's starting to be a little overused.
Yeah. But I want, and so this is Christmas. And what have you done? Okay. Well, we're done. The movie's over. We got some intestines at the end. Billy impaled on the Christmas tree. All that.
Yeah. So we'll come back in just a couple seconds. We're almost to Stillwater. We're going to go see some good collegiate Christmas lights.
Yes, and it's sunset, so it's nearly dark,
Yeah,
and it's going to be
dark.
beautiful, picturesque campus life.
It's been years and years and years since I've been to this campus. There's been no reason for me to come up to this campus. So we also on purpose picked a campus that was at least an hour or so away from us, because we live very close to Oklahoma University.
Yeah, next to the University of Oklahoma. Yeah.
So we were like, well, we can't just go there. That's like 15 minutes away. We got to go to another school. So we chose. We're almost there.
OSU.
So stay tuned. You'll hear our music for about a few seconds, and then we'll be right back and tell you about our trip and give our knife ratings and final thoughts.
All that, because we are some thoughts. Ready?
Yeah, we are. Hey, we're back.
And we're back.
I hope you didn't miss us.
Well, we're just getting ourselves situated back in the car. OSU, your campus was a little sleepy, and we liked it.
Yeah, it was dark and quiet, spooky, very Black Christmas vibes. There's some pretty Christmas lights on the actual campus, but honestly, the Greek Row, we were a little underwhelmed with their Christmas lights. So that was disappointing. We didn't see the greatest Christmas lights. And some just had
flags.
Yeah, just Christmas flags with nothing else on
banners.
it. It was kind of boring, OSU.
Yeah, but the campus, like you said, there was a big tower that had a clock tower, and it chimed, and I was all, hark how the bells.
Oh, it was so spooky.
But it was
definitely
lit.
COVID safe.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there weren't even a lot of people around, but they had signs about OSU following all the protocols, so hopefully that's what they're doing.
And we are stuffed. We just ate some Thai food that we got to go, and we got some cookies at this place called Insomnia Cookies. Maybe you've heard of them. They're kind of all over.
Yeah.
But they make a damn good cookie. We got some cookies, and so we're driving back now, and we're stuffed and happy. And we want to give a shout out to Chastity2288 for leaving us a great, awesome, wonderful review on iTunes or
thank
Apple.
you so much.
Yeah,
We really
appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. If any of you out there would like to leave us a review, we would love it.
We would absolutely adore it.
And we'll fucking shout you out.
And we're going to shout it out, Chastity2288.
We don't know if you have an Instagram handle. We couldn't find you under Chastity2288. But if you do, hit us up, DM us, girl.
Let us know you're out
say
there.
Hi. But yeah, let's get into Black Christmas. The reason we're on this little trip up to Oklahoma State University, now heading back home.
And it's dark, man. And the streets aren't as well lit. I'm spooky.
And we're kind of going down a dusty road right now.
And it's all plains area, so I'm like, okay, hopefully there's not a deer that's gonna run out and ruin my evening.
Or a murderer.
Or Billy Lynn. So no.
Billy and Agnes.
Okay, let's just talk about it.
Here's the deal. Sorry, I'll jump in first. I might cut you off. Here's the deal. It's a lot of fun. I'll put it this way. It's a terrible movie that's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
And I really go with it for almost the first hour, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think before, once we get to the hospital, I'm kind of checked out. I'm kind of over it at that point. The big showdown was enough for me. up in the attic that I'm like, I'm done. I don't need... The rest is... It kind of ruins the movie for me, that last 20 minutes in the hospital.
Yes, I love it. I love that it's this loud, kind of aggressive, like everybody is just like over the top dramatic about everything. So I'm there for it. Even the flashbacks, mom and dad, like it's all over the top. I love all the retro vintage Christmas, the lighting, like those really like neon blues, and then Billy always being like ultra yellow. Not like a subtle, not mellow yellow. I mean like electric yellow. And that's just how it is throughout the movie. Yeah. Everything's over the top. The gore is there, but maybe not so much the scares. I'm not really too scared watching it, but I do love like the intestines and the Christmas tree and like...
It's definitely very in your face. That's the fun part about it, is that it's very aggressive. It's like bitchy, mad characters, bright, aggressive colors, lots of like in your face Christmas music. They go over the top with the snowstorm, so you get that very claustrophobic vibe of everything. It's
in the walls that lends it to like Billy just always being in the walls or under the floorboards. It's
has a really cozy Christmas atmosphere. Like it sells it for me as Christmas horror, and that's one of my favorite genres. I love a good holiday horror.
Yes. It's playing on both holidays that people tend to love like equally. I know people go Christmas crazy, but there's people that go Halloween happy. So
I know, we're kind of sad they're not... We typically hit up this Krampus haunted house around Christmas that they do here in Oklahoma City, but of course COVID's another thing that won't be happening this year.
Yeah, so now all we have is holiday horror.
Yep.
That's it.
I'm going to watch a few extra.
So, yeah, that's what you're giving me, 2020. Holiday horror all the time.
All day.
And so we've been watching Black Christmas and all of its
we've watched
remakes.
all three.
And the original. And which maybe one day we'll I guess like that's another podcast we could do is Black Christmas 2019.
We
so
will
don't
say
spoil too much of
this one is not our least favorite.
Yeah.
So
like if there's a 1, 2, 3, which one's your favorite? I'll tell you. The original is my favorite.
Yeah, they kind of go in order.
This one's my second favorite. Yeah. Okay, so let's maybe favorite scenes. Do you? I never remember who named off their favorite scene the last episode, but do you want me to go?
Sure, you go.
Okay, my favorite scene, I like kind of just the beginning. That's the first, like, and maybe only real legitimate scare is Claire.
That's why you wanted to go first, because you knew that was going to be mine.
Oh, is it really? Oh, dang. No, I like it also because it shows me kind of like what they're working with. That they want to give those little nods, those that homage, all that. But they want to spin it and twist it and it's something different. And you're like, wait, is that guy yellow? For a second, you're like, is that guy yellow?
Is he yellow?
No,
Does he
yellow.
yellow?
Then you get to find out why he's yellow. I like it.
He's not mellow yellow either.
No. So I do. I like that opening kill.
Do you?
Do I? Do you? Your turn. What kind of... You're like favorite...
Now I'm trying to think because you
sorry.
took mine. Oh my god.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go... the Lacey Chabert scene's cool, but that's not my favorite. Shit. I do like when Homegirl gets, like, scalped. Michelle Trachtenberg gets, like, scalped.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But maybe I'll do the showdown in the attic because it's so goddamn ridiculous. You have Lee, like, just sinking slowly through, like, the rafters, and you have a Christmas tree on fire getting pulled down into, like, the wall that people are fighting in, and... Again, you have Lee pulling people out of the wall. Like, it's just
grandiose.
So stupid and fun.
Everything. They're throwing everything at the wall.
Also have, it's also the scene where they find all the heads. Like, We forgot to talk about the
Yes.
Christmas tree decorated with everybody's body parts. You have Eve's head as the star, and then like people's eyeballs as like.
And all their bodies are like up there. They're just like when they go up to the attic, Kyle gets pulled up
everybody's
there.
dead.
Everybody is up there with them. And
Did we
they're-
even mention that she sees Claire, her sister, dead up there? I forgot if we mentioned that or not. And the funny part is, it's like, well, how'd you even recognize? She has a bag over her head. You haven't seen her in years. You recognized her outfit, like, you know.
Or maybe she just deduced that like everybody who'd been missing is up here,
And there's one that has
there's
to be
like
her.
Miss Mac and there's Eve and just all the who knows. But I mean that's
Yeah.
what it is, because when they're in the hospital she's like, I'll never get to open this in front of Claire because she's fucking
Yeah,
dead.
I think we forgot to mention all the dead people we
Oh.
find up there.
Well, whoops. I mean, if we didn't,
Sorry.
Sorry.
Now we have, so don't you dare
Oh.
write in the comments.
oops.
Just
That-
kidding. You
they
dare
don't
to
cover
you dare to do what you
everything.
want. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you dare to do what you want if it's gonna be a review on iTunes that is like 5 stars.
Fucking awesome. We're fucking awesome.
You do what you're gonna
No.
do. Yeah.
So yeah, those are kind of my favorite scenes.
Okay,
There's a
good.
lot of 'em.
Yeah, I do love that like Billy Lynch is all out crazy, but what I don't like actually is all of his backstory. And that's something that happens a lot in like the mid 2000s horror, is like somebody just making me like trying to like get me to feel sorry for the insane serial killer that shows up to kill everybody on Christmas.
His backstory could be fun, but it does lend itself to that trope of like, well, he had a white trash childhood, so he's a serial
Naturally,
killer now.
yeah, like-
Looking at you, Rob Zombie and Michael Myers.
Like, yeah, that
But-
he's like, you know, just like
Actually, this was before then, so yeah. But yeah, that seems to be like a very easy out. Like, oh, he had a rough childhood. I'm like, so did a lot of us, but
we didn't all end
we're not
up
pulling
being
eyeballs
some,
out on
yeah,
Christmas.
like we're in some sanatorium and you know eating our flesh angel cookie cutters from our dead mother that we beat to death. We didn't all end up that way, Billy.
No. So let's get into knife ratings. You want me to go first? You want to go first?
You do it. You do it.
I'm gonna go 2.5.
Dang it! I was going 2.5.
It might have gotten a solid 3 if it wasn't for that last 10 minutes.
Yeah, that last little
10,
tit right
20
at the
minutes.
end.
It just keeps dragging it out. You're like, all right, the fun's over. I'm bored now. And I mean, I can sit through some hardcore, nuanced foreign films that are like 4 hours long, but it's interesting. It's not interesting after a point.
It's just so unnecessary. It's not needed. And it is just, it's also like, okay, here we go. Some more eyeballs and blood.
The
and,
writing just gets really dumb.
Yeah. I mean, how
Towards the
much is
end.
this guy going to survive? A house fire?
Yeah.
He was at least dead enough that he got put in a body bag and placed in an ambulance and then taken to the medical examiner's office, like the morgue down there. Like
Yeah.
he had to have been dead enough for other people. How come he just like
It's like, oh, he knows how to stop his pulse.
It's just so. And then even on that, then they climb through the ventilation system.
know how to
and
find
try to
them
find,
right
yeah.
away.
How?
How
It's
did he
just
find
getting
them?
outlandish. I can't take it anymore. There we go.
But
So
I would say
2.5
that-
for me.
Yeah, the first 3 acts of the movie are really fun. And just like over the top. I mean, it's campy and dumb the whole way
Yeah.
through, but it's fun. Then it just gets like, okay, speed it up.
And it's
'cause there's nothing
gratuitous
wrong.
and it's gore, but it's not
Yeah,
really
it's a lot
like
of-
too gratuitous and like showing us like there's not a ton of TNA in this, and it isn't
None at
like
all, really.
it's
Even
not
the shower,
sexually like charged.
even the shower scene, you may see her butt. I don't think you see titty.
Yeah,
Titty.
Teddy.
It's a lot of fun gore gags. They're nothing too serious. It's a lot of like eyeballs. It's almost like splat stick in some regards.
Teddy.
And it's oozes that Christmas oozes Christmas
Ooze.
horror.
Ooze.
So I like it a lot. I watch it every year almost.
Yeah.
So to give it 2.5 isn't saying it's bad. It's just
If we're going on the scale of like Jaws is 5, then
yeah.
you know
Black
we've got to
Christmas.
have something. So 2.5 knives means you got a little deep.
And honestly, going 2.5 is being a little. I
Maybe a
could
little
have gone 2, really.
Oh, you're
So,
like a little
I'm being
generous
nice with,
Christmas.
with the handle of the knife.
Little godmother Christmas over here. Like,
Little godmother.
give it a little extra where you can.
Extra.
Little Santa gift giving going around for Black Christmas. Yes. So check it out.
Yes.
What else does 2020 have you doing?
Yeah, we should all be home doing nothing for Christmas right now.
It's on
Watching Christmas horror.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. Or it's not Prime, but it's like a few bucks to rent. And again, what are you doing?
Yeah. What do you really spend your money on this Christmas?
I actually don't answer that. And if you're struggling, and I'm super sorry about all that, because COVID sucks and that's what's happening, and we're sorry. Okay, it's time to go. It's dark, and I'm actually a little tired.
I'm scared too.
Ooh, so
Every billion
next
ugly
episode,
Agnes are gonna get us.
Next episode.
Hey, we're doing our yearly going back to the cabin and another Evil Dead, but we've gone through all the Sam Raimi, so now it's time for the remake.
Yes, we're going back to Broken Bow. Back to Broken
To the
Bow.
cabin in the woods.
Back to.
Oh, girl, get it.
Beaver spin.
Guys, she's going nuts right now.
Hold your tongue. Okay, guys, but in the meantime, enjoy your horrific holiday season. I wish you the best.
We love you guys. Hope everyone's hanging in there. We hope our show can bring you a little happiness.
Yep.
We know it's not much, but we love you. Thinking about you.
Happy New Year. Hope
Happy
2021
holidays.
brings us a little bit better.
Yes.
So we love you guys.
Bye!
Bye!